Hey, welcome back to the show. Let's talk about some game news now. Let's go back to MKX.
Sure.
Which I'm happy to do. And they revealed and ran down Aaron Black.
Okay. I didn't get to see that stream. I don't know if you actually...
So he's a zoner.
Right.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah. He's a cowboy, right?
He's like a ninja cowboy.
He's a ninja cowboy.
Yeah, he's a ninja cowboy. Or is he a ninja? I don't know, but he's like something.
A martial arts cowboy, right?
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Kung Fu Cowboy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Totally sounds like an 80s film.
Yeah. And you know, he's from the comic books, I guess.
Oh, okay.
He's been introduced there.
Gotcha.
And anyway, so he's a zoner. He has some interesting ideas where, you know, for example, he has a gunshot thing, but he moves back at the same time.
Oh,
like
when he
he's
fires.
Like building space.
Okay.
He has a little sort of like, I almost want to call it like a venom ball-ish thing, like from Guilty Gear, where like he like shoots a thing up and it comes back down in like these angles.
Does it bounce off the top of the screen, or is it like? Is it more like?
It bounces off the top of the screen.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay.
I mean, it bounces off like a coin that he throws up, and he shoots a little gun at the coin, and then it like goes whatever direction.
That's cool. Okay,
cool.
So that is really cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I think that is pretty cool actually.
Uh-huh.
And he has a variation that where like he has a sword, I guess, but it's like made out of like some forearm.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like made out of some creature's forearm. The sword.
Okay.
Just go with it. And you can like break it off in your chest, and it does damage over time.
Oh dang!
So
does it reform afterwards?
Yeah, it reforms. Yeah.
Okay.
But during that time, I don't think you have the sword.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So he has a couple of zoning variations, and that one which seems to be a little bit more offensive.
Mm-hmm.
So he sounds cool. I mean, again, it seems like pretty much every character they come out with has some interesting twist. It's not just like some basic zoner. Like for example, in Injustice. I always want to call him Deadpool, even though I played that game so much.
Deathstroke?
Yeah, Deathstroke. I've always...
No, I know. I totally understand.
So he's basically just like... Well, he ended up not doing it like this, but at the start he was a boring zoner.
Right.
You shoot guns, and then you shoot guns.
Right.
And that's how you play.
Right.
He seems... As say, Aaron Black seems like he has more than that.
Okay.
Like you're building space as you're doing it, or there are some tricks in there.
Right. I mean, because I thought Injustice actually did a really good job with the variety of zoners, right? Sinestro was kind of a different zoner. Lex was kind of a different zoner, right? So I felt like they did a really good job with that. So.
But I did think that Deathstroke was one of the few like boring.
Okay, gotcha.
Very straightforward characters.
Right.
So it honestly doesn't even seem like they have one of those. Mm-hmm. They went over Liu Kang also. Liu Kang has a variation where he's like basically just Liu Kang. Mm-hmm. Like he's just the character you expect. Yeah. But then he also has one where he has windmill punch instead of windmill kick.
Okay.
But he also has, with that mode, he has increased block chip damage. And you know, in that game, everything does chip damage. Right. Normals do chip damage.
I remember you mentioned another character had like increased block chip damage.
Else does too.
So it's really an interesting mechanic.
Yeah, I mean it's a big deal. Liu Kang in MK9 is very pressure heavy. Really can stay in your face. And I think that they want him to do that again. And man, like when they showed him doing that as block damage, it was legit. So it was legit. So you can't even get close.
Right.
Or risk him getting close.
Kind of similar to Amane from Blaze.
It's sort of like Amane.
Yeah, because Amane, just wants to do a ton of chip damage. So.
Although I think he still does damage on hit. Right.
Oh
You're not hoping that they block. It's like if they block, they're screwed either way. Maybe.
Okay.
So I think that sounds kind of interesting. And then he has one where he throws a fireball, but it like doesn't hit. You have to activate it. It's like a ball, and as it goes along, you can stop it at any point, and it'll hit. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah. I know what you mean. And I'm gonna make the weirdest comparison.
So weird. Yeah.
So there was another fighting game with a move very similar to that.
Was there?
Yes. Street Fighter, the movie, the arcade.
Is that so? I never played that game.
Guile had a sonic boom. When you built up the full meter, you could throw the sonic boom and then make it blow up, and it would do extra damage and had the most ridiculous hitbox ever. I only know this because of Magic's combo video that he did, the Guile combo video that he did, because he had some Street Fighter the movie combos in there, which are just
the movie,
hilarious.
the game.
Yeah, apparently Guile had something like that. So.
Well, there were some things in Injustice that were projectiles that would hit, but you could meter burn them, whatever, and then they would explode for like a bigger hit. Right. But
I mean, it's also kind of like Zelda, to be honest with you, right?
Oh, it is like Zelda.
Little fireball that she tosses.
It is like Zelda. Okay. You're right. In Smash, that's actually that's true.
Okay.
So, those sound fun. Also, Ed Boon in an interview yesterday. Made a little bit of a mention of the online play, and he said that they've really been working on it. That is he considers it considerably improved over Injustice, which was already improved over MK9.
Right.
So hopefully that's real. And what makes me think that it is that they're doing this big old ESL thing.
That's true.
They're putting a lot of money behind this online play.
Right.
And I feel like they might be hesitant to do that if it was terrible.
Here's a question for you. So obviously they're doing this online tournament play, right? But the netcode is still region specific. So are there going to be different events in the different areas?
I think there are actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think as far as I know, at least Europe and North America.
Right. Asia, maybe not. We'll see.
Maybe Australia. I mean, they have more players in Australia, certainly.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I thought the games were banned in Australia because of the rating system.
Oh, did that happen this time? I don't remember.
I remember it happened to MK9, didn't it?
I honestly don't recall, but I know that there are NRS players in Australia.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how they worked that out, but...
Right. Okay.
So hopefully it's improved.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's improved.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they talked about Shinnok also. Yeah. Shinnok.
Yes. The guy who in the previous games looked like a reject from a Star Wars film, but yeah.
I can totally see that. I
totally just picture him walking up like in the cantina, you know
who he kind of looks like is the representative from the banking clan in
the first one. The Trade Federation. You mean?
No, not the Trade Federation, because that was the
the
clear
racist.
Asian, right? No, this guy was like, he had like a white face and it was like a little bit taller. And,
I think I know. Yeah.
I feel like he kind of looks like that. Anyway, he's stupid looking. Who cares?
I heard he looks cool in this one.
He looks better.
Okay.
He looks better. Anyway, so he basically has, if you recall, in the previous one, Shang Tsung had this thing where he, had multiple fireballs that like rise up from the ground.
Yeah.
He has that move. He has some other zoning options. He also has, in one variation, he has a couple of unblockable things. One is like a grab that comes from the ground. Whether it's actually a grab, I'm not sure. Or a low. Something to test, certainly. And he also has like a from the sky unblockable.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I'm not sure how that stuff's gonna work out. And he has one where he like makes bones and he hits you with them. It looks like, who cares? I don't know. I feel like that's not very interesting.
You're talking about some sky unblockers, and then he gets to make bones, but whatever, dude. I don't know. That sounds.
Is that cool to you? I don't know.
That sounds kind of interesting.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe that's your guy.
I mean, you mentioned. Was it you or someone actually tweeted a Vi saying like this might be his character?
Yeah,
he's like super projectile.
Yes,
because he also really liked Shang Tsung in MK9.
He played Shang Tsung.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because he loved all the fireball zoning stuff that he had. So.
Exactly. And apparently you can meter burn the end of, or at any point in this triple thing, and it'll like give you a big old juggle, and you can do cool stuff.
Interesting.
Okay. And then he also has a third variation that is basically, it was sort of like Shang Tsung, where you get a move from the opponent. You don't become the opponent,
right.
But you do get some moves. So like if you're up against Sub-Zero, if you're up against Sub-Zero and you get this move, like you can freeze them or whatever, and it's different for every character.
Yeah, but here's the question. Is it different for every character's variation?
Wow, that would be so much info.
That would be awesome if that was the case.
That'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
Dude, I always loved that about Rogue. How she had that in like X-Men versus Street Fighter. But it was super limited because it was a sprite-based game. And it's a lot easier, obviously, in 3D games. I always talk about this one completely random fighting game called Critical Blow on the PlayStation 1. Like, I don't even think it came out in America.
Oh, okay.
Like, my friend brought it back from the Philippines, and it was obviously a burned disc, you know, that, like, wasn't real or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could get special move cards from any character, and then your character could do that move. So, you know, so... Yeah.
Well, it's also sort of like Kirby.
Yeah, I guess it's true too. Yeah, it is Kirby. It is Kirby.
Yeah.
So.
Everybody's getting inspiration from Smash.
Yeah, exactly.
Rightfully so. I guess just MK is, but
yeah, because you know I totally see them being in the same category.
Same,
you know?
right? Yeah. So he looks fun. I think he looks like an interesting sort of zonery, but maybe there's tricks with the grabs or unblockables or whatever.
Well, does somebody actually know what Critical Blow is? Like, I actually, just Dan in the chat actually was like, Critical Blow! Exclamation mark. I gotta wonder if he actually knows what it is or if he's just saying that just for fun, you know? Critical Blow! That's how it started.
Really?
Yeah, that's how it started.
Okay, alright. Well, that's probably about it for Mortal Kombat. That's all I can think of.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
In other game news, so Hisako, I believe, is out now. Yeah, official launch tomorrow. Yeah, so she's officially out.
In Killer Instinct.
In Killer Instinct. They also had an official trailer for her that came out. She still looks like she's just super well animated.
Right?
Like, it's just ridiculous how nice she looks. But the interesting thing about it is they finally revealed Cinder.
Yeah, Cinder's
trailer.
at the end.
And everybody's been waiting for this character,
Yeah.
which is really funny because when I saw the original Killer Instinct, I always thought Cinder was like the dumbest character. Because he's just a dude in fire. Who cares, dude? It's like the Human Torch. What? Like, why is that? But dude, like everybody was like, "Put Cinder in the game. We want Cinder. We want Cinder." And I was like, really, I just knew he was the guy with the infinite combo juggle thing that he could do.
I never knew about that game. So.
But the interesting thing about it is that, like, his personality in the trailer was he sounded like Dudley.
Yeah, it was only for like 2 seconds, but it really came through in just that short period of time. Because it comes, if you recall, in the TJ reveal, right? He like blows up Fulgore, and he's like, "Is that the best you got?"
Right.
And you know, previously that was it.
Right.
You didn't see the rest of it, but now you see that continued, and Cinder pops in, and he has some like nice little quip, you know, in an English accent.
He's like, "Let's fight like gentlemen."
Yeah.
By the way, I've always hated Dudley's English voice in Street Fighter 4.
Oh.
In Street Fighter 4. His voice in Third Strike is perfect.
Yeah.
His voice is amazing, how it's really deep. It's like, "Let's fight like gentlemen. Body, body, body." You know,
right, yeah.
Like
body,
that.
body, body. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
like
sick.
his voice. And then when he came out in USF4 and his English voice is like, "Well, now, let's see what we've got." And I was like, "Oh!" Yeah, I was so upset.
I don't think I've ever actually paid attention to it.
I do not like his English voice
Yeah?
in 4. It made me so upset because it's like so high pitched. And it's like, no, Dudley is like, he's like the low voiced baritone gentleman. It was just so cool and unique.
Oh man,
You
okay.
know, instead of turning him to the standard high pitched British, you know.
But in Japanese, he's still
that's
still deeper,
I keep
right?
him in Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep him in Japanese for sure. So yeah,
fair enough. Anyway, so Cinder. That's it. I don't have any more details on
yeah,
Cinder,
obviously we have no details.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just need to
It's
go.
going to be something cool, though, I would think.
Yeah, I need to go. You know, I really need to plug in my Xbox One again and check out all these new characters. There's like 7 new characters for me to check out in this game. I have zero interest in Omen, I'm going to be honest with you, but like...
Yeah.
But like Aganos and Hisako, like these are characters I definitely want to check out, and I just haven't.
For sure.
I just need to plug that stupid thing in. So actually, it might be plugged in because I still think I use it to watch Twitch.
That's what you watch Twitch with?
Sometimes, if I just want it on my big TV, because it's already hooked up upstairs, right? So
it's like $1 million Chromecast.
yeah, pretty much.
That's what you have.
Yeah, because my Chromecast is downstairs
Ah.
in my bedroom, so that makes it easier for there. So yeah, upstairs it just kind of became my $1 million Twitch viewer. Yeah.
His living room is upstairs and his bedroom is downstairs.
Yeah. Okay. That's true.
It's
That's true. It sounds
opposite.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the person who built our unit figured it would be interesting because the downstairs stays cooler, and then the upstairs you could make high ceilings and. You know, it would be nicer that way.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly is nice. Don't get me wrong.
It's an interesting setup. So.
So that's it for KI, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was, I think, one more thing to discuss.
I can't remember now. I don't think so, unless anybody else has anything that they want to talk about.
Okay. Well, I just remember this. I meant to bring this up when we were talking about MKX earlier, but apparently one of the members of the design team for MKX has left Twitter. Have you heard about this?
Oh, yes, I did hear about this.
So apparently some total jerk had been harassing him on Twitter.
Because a character wasn't in the game, right?
Saying things like, put Reiko, this character.
Right,
or I'm going to do something to your wife, etc., your daughter.
Right,
And I guess the designer took it seriously, which makes sense. It's hard to ignore those things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, especially as direct as it was. And so he announced that he would just be, taking a break from Twitter and not putting himself into that situation anymore.
Right.
It's really too bad. I mean, I saw him, talk about MKX before, and I saw him. He certainly talked with fans and seemed to be a good liaison with the community, but some douche, I guess, ruined it.
It's really funny because, I know there was a bunch of people who really wanted Tremor in the game.
Right.
And so they were rallying behind an online petition. So they tried to get everyone to sign this online petition. And guess what? Tremor's in the game. There he is, right? Yeah. So, and it's like they actually did the right way to try to get a character in the game. And then you got jerks like this. And, it's always one of those things, right? One of the things I remember this was happening, this is kind of like a thought that I had during the whole Gamergate situation as well, right? Which is, a lot of times you get those people threatening, right? You get those threats online and stuff like that. And a lot of people's response to that is just stupid internet threats, right? But let's face it, if there's 100 internet threats and then one of them gets carried out, that's too many,
yes,
right?
Indeed.
That's too many. If there are 1,000 threats and one gets carried out, that's too many.
Sure.
If 10 threats are there and one gets carried out, there's too many. It only takes once for everything to get completely screwed up. And so you can't just sit here and say, oh, it's just internet threats and ignore it. You have to take it seriously because you really don't know what the hell kind of people are out there and what they might want to do.
Absolutely.
But it's just at the same time, it's just why are you even getting so personal about it in the first place?
Dude, especially with this character. You want to see this character I just brought up? That's the character.
It's a dude?
It's a dude. He has some shoulder things on.
Because the only Reikos I knew are females. So I was oh, it must be just one of those female...
No, it's this nondescript looking guy. I just can't imagine being so into a Mortal Kombat character. Okay? Right? I like the game a lot, and as you can probably tell, I'm very excited for the game. But when it comes to the characters, they can throw any of them away.
Right,
who cares?
Right.
To replace any of them with anybody, it's the same.
Right.
So I think that's just totally bizarre.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you're right. It's difficult to ignore. You shouldn't ignore it.
Right.
And it's also, I think it's very easy for people who are not in that position to say things like, oh, just ignore it. It's just internet trolling. That's a different position, believe me.
Dude, as soon as you get your first threats, then all of a sudden your position changes drastically.
Right, and so I was on the Mortal Kombat Reddit, and somebody was like, somebody said that, right? Ignore it. It's not that big a deal. It's trolling. And I said something like, look, that's easy to say if you haven't been threatened and you expect that you won't be in a public position where you'll get threatened, right?
Right.
Most people don't expect that, right? Why would that happen? And the person wrote back something like, well, I've been threatened on Xbox Live. People send me threatening messages. That's not the same. It's not. It's not the same if you are some dude who really has no expectation that these things will happen versus being a very public figure.
Right.
Involved in a obviously very popular game.
It's very easy to look up your information because they know your real name,
correct.
They know what you
Yes.
do, they know where you live.
Right.
It's very easy to narrow down that someone who works for NetherRealm probably lives in Chicago.
Right.
You know, you have his real name, not Shinnok1234, you know, and stuff like that. They have your actual name. So getting a threat over Xbox Live,
different story.
Yeah,
it really is.
different
I mean,
thing,
it's just like what was happening with Gamergate and all sorts of other issues, where it's just like people have tough time being empathetic. You know,
Yeah,
they're trying to put themselves in people's shoes and like really thinking, like,
Well,
how would I really feel?
It's really funny because, I mean, there was just like this, I don't want to get into too much details, but like I made this comment somewhere, basically, where I was like, the worst thing about it is when you get threatened or when people say mean things about you, most people's response is like, man up, you know, grow a thicker skin. Why don't you just, you know, if you let it get to you, you're just being weak or whatever like that, right? And my comment was, why is that necessarily being weak? Why can't I say your need to threaten people or your need to insult people can be seen as weak?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like I'm the problem for being the one getting yelled at?
Right.
Is that the
like
contention?
if you
How stupid.
actually... I feel like the people who take the time to compliment other people and thank them or, you know, or just to be very reasonable, that actually, to me, shows a stronger personality than just... Because insulting someone is the easiest thing in the world, right? I mean, we all do it all the time. I get mad at all sorts of public figures all the time, like in basketball and stuff like that.
Do you still do that? I think that's funny.
I still do sometimes. I'm always like, this stupid player, like, this coach is an idiot, you know?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Well, I guess, I mean, sometimes in the moment, maybe I don't think I still do that, but I did do that. But it was a different look, I might say that in my bedroom. I might be like, oh man, this player, how could you screw up like that? You're stupid. Versus like going on the internet and writing him an email and being like, hey man, if you don't do better next time, then your wife is going to get it. And I know where you live and blah, blah, blah. It's a totally different story.
Yeah, I would never tweet anybody that kind of thing. It's just like, yeah.
Anyway.
Also, I mean, this kind of
sucks.
Brings up another weird public... Actually, something we completely... This is what we wanted to talk about was... Some new Tekken 7 characters have been revealed, right? So they showed that, I guess Devil Jin is going to be a mid-boss or something like that, or a boss character, not confirmed yet of whether or not he's going to be playable.
Okay.
But they also revealed a brand new character. So last week we showed the pictures. Remember there was also that weird robot dude with the tubes and stuff like that. But the data mining that they showed, I guess it kind of pushed them to have to release the characters a little bit earlier because they kind of got leaked, right? So they revealed the female character is a brand new character named Josie Rizal. Rizal, I don't know if how to pronounce that accurately, but she is a Filipina kickboxer. So it's like one of the first Filipino characters in a fighting game, which is super cool. Just like how they had Shaheen in there, which was really cool. So she's a brand new character, and apparently, you know, like her default outfit, she's wearing a lot of the colors of the Filipino flag and all this stuff like that. The interesting thing about this, it's like there always has to be drama about everything, right? So apparently the name, I don't know Filipino history that well, so pardon me if I get any of this wrong, but apparently her name is kind of based off of a national hero in the Philippines named Jose Rizal, right? And so apparently the Filipino government is really mad that this character is being created because it's a female and she's like, you know, like bare midriff, all these things like that, and it's like desecrating the image of the national hero, and so they actually don't like this character. Yeah. So I don't know. That seems kind of strange, right? I mean,
it's really unfortunate. I know that Mark Mann put in a bunch of work. He's been talking about it. Which is very cool, by the way. But I know he did, and I know he's Filipino. I mean, it's clearly a tribute character.
Right.
It's not like some intentional trying to get a little stab at the Philippines, right? It's the opposite.
Well, people are saying in the chat that Filipino government gets mad at everything.
Do they? I mean,
yeah, it's like I said. I don't know the history with all that stuff like that. Yeah. So maybe it's not even that big of a deal. Maybe it's just one of those things that it's just like whatever. Because I mean, some people actually made some comparisons, like nobody in the U.S. gets mad at Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, right?
Yeah.
or even just stuff like Codename Steam, he's in there, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or whatever like that. Like no one cares about that kind of stuff, right?
That's true. So, I mean, the U.S. might not be like the average on the world stage when it comes to level of irreverence, but I mean. That said, it's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear about the response.
Yeah.
I hope that they don't make too big of changes, if any. I don't know what kind of pressure is involved here, or the history. Like you said, maybe this happens not infrequently. I really am not sure.
Right, exactly.
But I feel bad for the people involved because I know that it means a lot. When Mark, I saw a Facebook post from him that was like introducing the character,
right,
and he was really like effusive about how cool it was that like finally there's a character that like shares his heritage and they put in this cool work and look, it's like a tribute and he was so happy about it.
He did also accurately point out though that she might be the second Filipino character in a fighting game. The first being from Dive Kick.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Right.
Markman and Dive Kick. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, I just think it's kind of an interesting situation. Hopefully, like we said, it's not going to be that much of a big deal. So, I mean, I just thought, if they really wanted to skirt the issue, like just to kind of, I said just like name her Maria or something like that, right? So, because one of my best friends a while ago was Filipina, and she basically said like every female, like a lot of the females who have very strong ties to Christianity, are born with two names: a real name and a name based off of Mary.
Okay.
So that's why there's like a lot of Marites, Mary, Marie, all those kind of things. So I mean, if her real name is Maria Josie Rizal or something like that, and then just call her Maria in the game so people don't get mad, but honestly, that's a thing for them to appease, and maybe they just don't even need to do that. So
I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah. Hopefully, it doesn't get anything crazier than it is right now. So
I hear that. I also hope, by the way, that if Reiko had been planned to be in the game, that he won't be in the game.
Did they take him out?
Out of there.
That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be good?
That'd be awesome, dude. I mean, come on. Wouldn't you rather see mocap in there instead of Reiko?
It's the same.
I know, right?
I feel like it's almost the same.
Dude, like the character looks so generic.
Yeah.
Like, the character really looked very
That's I mean, this is... Maybe MK9's the first time that it was, like, really, like... any real attempt to like make some actual differentiation between some of the characters.
Yeah, exactly.
And certainly they're doing a better job of that now. Like Reptile is like definitely like very obviously not a human anymore.
Things like that. And even like Ermac looks completely different and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just trying to figure out,
as far as the older ones go, like you just can't be attached to those characters. I just can't see
that's what I always said. That's what I always thought was kind of brilliant about Mortal Kombat, is they made all their characters not particularly lovable, but that also makes it so that you're willing to brutalize them with fatalities.
Right, right.
I'm actually really curious, though, because in that story mode preview, in one of the trailer previews, they show Sub-Zero without his mask, and he looks like MK3 Sub-Zero, the white Sub-Zero. Yeah, he looked kind of like that, so did they tie, like, his storylines all together or something?
I think that part of the story is, like, there are multiple Sub-Zeros.
Oh, okay.
I think he's, like, Dreadfighter Roberts or something.
You know what? I've never played MK9 story mode.
It was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
It was
I wonder
pretty
if I should just do that one of these days. Play that, and then when MKX comes out, play the story mode there.
Actually, I was planning to do that.
Oh, really?
Before MKX comes out. Just to, mostly to reacquaint myself with the mechanics and stuff, but...
I should totally stream playing MK9 story mode. That would actually be kind of funny.
Go for it. I watched the 25-minute preview of MKX's story.
Oh, that's right.
Which you can see. It's on IGN. You know what? It was pretty good. It really was. I mean, there was good voice acting. I thought that the choreography was good. Oh, it had Jax in there. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. Oh. It had Jax, and Jax played against Johnny Cage. So you're Johnny Cage in the first chapter. Okay. And you, like, Jax has been, like, taken over. Oh, no, I'm totally spoiling it. Okay.
Right. So first half hour of the story.
Yeah. Anyway, let's just talk about the gameplay. So Jax apparently has ground pound still in this variation.
Yeah.
He has ground pound, but it's like super fast. So it's like full screen, super fast.
Okay.
Boom. And then he also seems to have a chain command grab. Like he does command grab, and he like holds you there. And then he lets you go.
Oh.
So I mean, it's probably a chain grab. You know, you're supposed to input some command, and it does whatever. But the CPU doesn't do it.
God, what did he say when he grabbed you before? It was always super iconic when he grabbed you, but I keep wanting to say get over here, but that's obviously Scorpion, right?
Yeah.
But when he grabbed you, before he pounded you a bunch of times, he had a really iconic thing that he said. I can't remember what he said.
Yeah, it's the pumped up variation. I don't remember.
Oh, man. I actually played a little bit of MK2, I remember. When that was out.
I played MK2, sure.
MK2 was fun. Gotcha! That's what it was.
True.
Gotcha! Oh!
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Dude, me and my friends, like when we were, like a lot, like when I was still in college, this is way back then, yeah. No, when we used to always make fun of that Mortal Kombat 2 scream, because like by UCLA, there used to be a haircut place that was a sports-themed one, and it was called Uppercuts. Right? And so, you know, when you did down and high punch in Mortal Kombat, you did the uppercut. Sure. When you hit people, that was how they responded. So every time we'd walk by uppercuts, we'd be like, uppercuts! Oh! You know, like when we get hit and stuff. Oh, man. College inside jokes. Dude.
Yeah.
They're the best.
I think that might have... Was that still there when I was there?
Uppercuts?
Did it survive? Because
it was right across the street from Headlines.
Yeah, I think that was there for like the first month that I was at UCLA. And then it died.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Because there was an arcade in there still, or there was a machine. Anyway, is that about it?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to
about?
cover. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they did say that the Tekken 7 leaks are causing them to like push development a little bit faster and like push reveals and stuff like that. So it is unfortunate, but I don't think you're going to be able to stop it. Like, people are just hungry for
Street Fighter 5's doing a pretty good job.
Actually, that's a good point.
They are.
Dude, the fact that Street Fighter 5 only got leaked like a week before it was supposed to be is pretty impressive.
And even that was by like stupid accident.
Right, exactly. So
yeah, or at least as far as I know. But like, I didn't know anything about Charlie or Nash before he was announced, right? So anyway. MKX.
I have a pre-order for the PS4. Now I don't know what to do. Should I get it for... No, I'm not.
I mean, are you going to be winning these $1,000 weekly tournaments? You don't think you're going to?
No. Actually, I am.
Because I know a lot of people are... a lot of top players are thinking about that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Especially because, I mean, because of what happened with MK9. And plus another thing, too, is just like... One of the biggest examples of what happens, one of the things that's very revealing to a lot of the top Capcom players, I think, was when Scorpion came out in Injustice and no one could block him. Remember? Because you teleported and it was like, he's impossiple to block because I don't have a block button.
Yes.
Right? So it's just like...
Are you implying that the NRS scene is not that great? Is that your implication?
All right, thanks everyone for watching the Tuesday show.
I'm James. Can I be honest? Don't tell anybody this, okay? Let's just keep it between us. Don't go and like test your might. Oh no.
I know.
I really hope Ryan Hart wins. Yep, I do.
I still like the fact that you tweeted that joke, like, oh, he only plays Capcom games.
How will this Capcom player, who has so much Street Fighter 4 experience but nothing else, adapt to Mortal Kombat X?
Right?
And people took that seriously. Not that, to be fair, not a ton.
Right.
But there were some responses that were like, either on the one hand, don't you know he was a like Tekken God.
Yeah.
And other people being like, well, you know, he's got a pretty good Street Fighter 4 resume, so maybe he can adapt. Like, okay, folks.
Yeah. So again, just to clarify, 4 potentially greatest all-time fighting game players in terms of well-roundedness of every category.
Yeah.
The 4 in contention are Tokido, Justin Wong, Ryan Hart, and Combo Fiend. Those are my top 4 right there.
I think that for me, it would be Tokido, number 1.
Yeah.
And I think number 2 for me is Ryan.
Tokido actually played BlazBlue, right?
He played BlazBlue, yeah.
Yeah, so...
He played 3D games, and he played
everything. He was amazing at Soul Calibur and stuff like that. So Tokido to me is number 1.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
So Justin is missing the Arxis games. At one point, he won an Evo East Tekken tournament, okay? Tekken 5.
Yeah,
so people don't know how good he got at Tekken at one point in time, right? And he did that because some people told him that he could never be good at it. So he was like, okay. And then he like bodied everybody.
He played Guilty Gear. It wasn't serious.
Yeah, right? He wasn't great at it, but that's kind of where he might be number 2 for me. Combo Fiend is missing mostly the 3D games. I don't know if he played a lot of Soul Calibur and all this stuff like that, but he played the hell out of Guilty Gear. He was amazing at Guilty Gear. And then Ryan Hart is also missing the Arxis games. I don't know if he actually plays a lot of those or not.
I'm not sure. I know he played MK9.
Oh, that's true.
He did.
So he has that a little bit. Yeah.
People are saying Chris G. I mean, maybe in the future. I just don't. I mean, Chris has been really good for a few years now, but I guess Tokido's been around for
the reason why Chris G is not there yet is because he's missing the 3D games and the Arxis games. He doesn't play either of those now. So, and those are 2 major categories. The other 4 people are only missing one or the other.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So Chris is missing those 2 big categories.
Let's see. There's also people saying Fudo. Fudo, top Virtua Fighter God, of course, and also one of the best Street Fighter 4 players.
But does he play
Kazunoko, Guilty Gear, and Street Fighter 4?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know their resumes other than that.
Yeah. So some people are obviously missing. I mean, there's a lot of people in this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky had a lot of success in basically everything. But not that many people, like Ryan Hart, won Evo in Tekken.
Yeah.
And he got top 8 in Virtua Fighter, and I think Third Strike. He did. Not that many people have done that, I can tell you that. It's basically him and Tokido and maybe a couple others, I don't know.
Pretty much, so. Anyways, okay.
All right.
Cool. I've got nothing else, so.
Nemo and Sako. I know Sako for a couple of games, but I don't know. Does he play 3D games? Does he play?
Yeah, see that I don't know about that either. Yeah. So it's always the 3D games and the Arxis games that kind of out people a little bit. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, to be honest with you, Sako plays almost everything else. So he might be up there. Hell, even Daigo, right? I mean, he
certainly can.
He got top. Didn't he win Guilty Gear one year?
I think he did win Guilty Gear
he won it. So.
Yeah. Anyway, as far as Ryan goes, when it comes to playing MKX, like I said, he did play MK9, but on top of that, MKX in Mortal Kombat has a lot of similarities with 3D games, the way that it's played. There are very few invincible attacks other than Wake Up. That's really about it. And a lot of the sort of the mix-ups are similar.
Right, and we're not even sure.
Overhead, low sort of things.
We're not even sure if that's going to be the case in this version. Are they going to be invincible wake-ups? Are they going to do the same thing where reversals add invincibility?
They are.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah, they've talked about that a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
But so we'll see how he does. Probably money is more on Carl and MIT or something like a Sonic Fox. But we'll see.
Okay, cool. Okay, are we truly done?
I think that's it.
I think we're truly done, right?
I think that's it. My little tablet's battery is about dead. So
okay. All right, sounds good.
Let's get going.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and watch NCR this weekend. So unfortunately, you will not be there.
I will not be there. The reason is that it's Pesach. That's this coming weekend. That's Passover for you guys. A little eye thing. Anyway, it is. If you're Jewish, have a happy Passover.
Yeah, I won't be there the first day on Friday, but I will be there on Saturday and Sunday. So should be fun.
Cool
Good stuff.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Peace.